So the Oscar nominations for 2024 are coming out tomorrow. So today I want to give my predictions for each of the big categories for who I think is going to get nominated. And with that, let's just get right into it. For Best Picture, I think there's definitely a big 5 or 6 that have to get in, and after that it does kind of fall apart. The ones I think that have the biggest chances of getting in are like locks are Oppenheimer, The Holdovers, Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, and Anatomy of a Fall. Those are the 5 I think that have to get in. They've been getting a ton of traction already with award shows, with BAFTA and Golden Globes and everything in between. Those 5 have to get in. And after that, I think it's anyone's game. For me, I have put The Zone of Interest, Finalize, American Fiction, Saltburn, and Poor Things. I think Finalize has to get in. Honestly, it's been for a while that film that was thought to be Best Picture worthy until later in the year it got taken out by other stuff. So I think Finalize has to get in. Zone of Interest also, I think, should get into, but we will see with that. American Fiction is always just like, I think that steady horse. Every award show, I think it's pretty much gotten into Best Picture. One has like the 10 nominees. So I think it has to get in. I'm going on a wild card here though with Saltburn. I think Saltburn, before the release on Prime Video, was not performing well at all with anyone, and then released on Prime, it got so much more popularity, and I think it shifted the dynamic of Saltburn, and now it has this opportunity to win a ton of awards at the Oscars. BAFTAs gave it a ton of nominations, so I think this might give Saltburn some momentum here, but we'll have to see. Then lastly, I have Poor Things, and that's really low, some of you might be thinking, but I don't think it has the chance to win Best Picture at all. It's a very slim for me. I don't know why, but I have a feeling like Poor Things is just not gonna get Best Picture. I have this like feeling, but I'm gonna put it in here because I do think it will still get nominated. But I don't know. I just have the feeling that it's not gonna happen. With that as well, though, like All of Us Strangers can easily get in. We could see an Iron Claw surprise nomination out of nowhere, which would be amazing to me. Or we could see even Across the Spider-Verse not get in. Who knows? I think 9 and 10 are very much so anyone's game here. Whoever wants to try and get the nomination could. But it's like, we're going to see when it gets released. I think 9 and 10, though, very much have the opportunity to change. For Best Director here, I currently have in my top 5, all 5 getting nominated. Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer, Greta Gerwig, Barbie, Yorgos Lanthimos for Poor Things, Alexander Payne for The Holdovers, and Martin Scorsese for Killers of the Flower Moon. I think he had the top 4 locks: Nolan, Gerwig, Lanthimos, and Payne. I know there was talk about Gerwig somehow missing this, and I think that is absurd to think about. I don't think Gerwig has any chance at all of missing. Barbie was such a huge movie this year, and it's getting nominated for so many categories, I think, at the Oscars, that it has to get in. Like, if Gerwig does not get nominated, I think that would be a little much. And then Martin Scorsese is the only one I'm a little bit iffy on. I think any of the people in the top 10 could take out Scorsese. I think Scorsese mostly is in here right now as like a legacy nom. I don't think he's gonna stay for Killers of the Flower Moon. I don't think that it's worth it. I think it's more of just a legacy. He's Scorsese. We have to put him in the category. He's an easy nomination. I think Celine Song or Justin Triet should take that spot. Bradley Cooper also, I think, early on in nominations in the race, was very much so a frontrunner for director, but I think that has changed so much now. Maestro's not been really getting any wins at all at award shows. I don't think Cooper can get director now. It's gonna be close, but I don't think it's possible with already the top 4. I think it honestly, if we have to remove Scorsese, it should go to Song or Triet. They definitely deserve it the most, and I think they have the biggest chance of getting into this director category. And I also have Cord Jefferson for American Fiction and Jonathan Glazer for The Zone of Interest. They're just give-me's for like who could get in. American Fiction has been doing pretty well still, so I definitely do still see it having a chance to get into this category. So it has a chance. I think The Zone of Interest also is a little bit iffy, just like with Cooper for Maestro. For Best Actress, for my predictions, I have Emma Stone for Poor Things, Lily Gladstone for The Killers of the Flower Moon, Margot Robbie for Barbie, Carey Mulligan for Maestro, then Sandra Hüller for Anatomy of a Fall. A lot of these are pretty much locks already. I think these top 5 are going to be locks. I think it's really a 2-person race between Emma Stone and Lily Gladstone. I think they've been winning the most at award shows. It's definitely their race to win. So it's going to come up to, like, what do the voters think? Or honestly, I would not be surprised if we see a Carey Mulligan upset. I think she was outstanding in the best part of Maestro. And then below the line, like my other contenders, I think Fantasia Bruno has a slight chance. She's been getting a lot of traction at festivals for nominations, but the Criminal itself really hasn't. Greta Lee, she's been in a few noms for Best Actress, so I don't think it's totally out of the question for her to get into this category in general. Natalie Portman, personally, May December was my favorite film of the year, so I really do hope Portman gets in here, but I don't think it's happening. May December has not been doing great at all at festivals. I think Portman was really good in it, but there is just zero traction to get May December really any nominations at award shows. Annette Bening for Naiad. I have not watched Naiad. I've heard very mixed things on it. I think it's just in here because Naiad has been getting a lot of traction, sadly, at award shows. I don't think it deserves it from what I've heard about Naiad. So, Annette Bening's in here right now, but I don't think she deserves to be even close to this category at all. And then Kaylee Spinney for Priscilla. I don't know, I had to throw someone else in there. I feel like I was already pretty capped out, but Kaylee Spinney did really good. So we'll see if she's able to get a nomination, but I don't think it's really gonna happen. All right, Best Actor. I think this is very much a two-person race. Cillian Murphy, Paul Giamatti, is their two to win, and they're the two big locks. I think they have to be. Cillian Murphy has been going crazy at award shows, so has Paul Giamatti. They're the two best actors that won the awards at the Golden Globes. The Holdovers have been getting a lot of traction as of late. Oppenheimer stayed as that top tier though, so I do think that it's between these two to win Best Actor. As for the last three, I think it's just nominations for them. I don't think they have a real chance of taking the cake. So for 3 and 4, I have what have been the most nominations of recently: Bradley Cooper for Maestro and Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction. I think they're both locks in this category, to be honest. Jeffrey Wright probably could be switched out for Leonardo DiCaprio if he really wanted to. And then at 5, I have a very wildcard prediction, but I just have a gut feeling. And after seeing Iron Claw and seeing how good it was, I think Zac Efron has a chance of getting into the Best Actor category and the nomination. I should say of Leo, he could easily be switched in for any one of these people. I think that's a very much a possibility just because he's Leonardo DiCaprio. And then Coleman Domingo for Reston. Again, he's been getting a few nominations, so I would not be surprised if he gets switched in as well. 8, 9, and 10 are just the names that haven't really been nominated for anything yet, but they're also contenders. I think the top 7 that I have listed are the real viable contenders to get a nomination, but 8, 9, and 10 I think are just people that it could happen. Matt Damon for Air. Matt Damon is an easy nomination to make if you wanted to. Andrew Scott for All of Us Strangers. They got a few nominations in BAFTA, but Andrew Scott did not get a nomination, so that's why I don't have him higher up. Paul Mescal was the one that got it, so I can't really be like pushing Andrew Scott up, but he hasn't really got a nomination yet. And then at 10, Barry Keoghan for Saltburn. Saltburn, once again, was performing pretty well. They performed really well at the BAFTAs. This is gaining popularity, so Barry Keoghan could easily make the category as a surprise nomination, but we'll have to see. But I'm pretty sure my top 4 are locks. Zac Efron could change from a DiCaprio or Domingo nomination, to be honest. I think that's probably pretty good, honestly. For Best Supporting Actress, I have Divine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers, Emily Blunt for Oppenheimer, America Ferrera for Barbie. A bit of a surprising last 2, Penelope Cruz for Ferrari, and Julianne Moore for May December. Divine Joy Randolph, I think this is her category to win. I don't think anyone else really has a chance of even coming close to winning this category, other than Divine Joy Randolph. She's won every single supporting actress category that she has been a part of, so I think this is by far her chance to win. I don't think anyone else really has that opportunity to win it. Emily Blunt is also in here. She's been nominated for, I think, every single award show for supporting actress, so it makes the most sense for her to be in here. It just comes down to, will she get the win? I don't think so, but I think she's pretty much a lock to get in. Since these bottom 3 have been switching so much, I think America Ferrera is a pretty good bet. She's gotten a few nominations, no wins yet, but she was really good at Barbie. I did like her a lot. I think the critics liked her a lot with her monologue, so I think she does certainly have the best chance of winning a nomination here. So we'll see. I think Penelope Cruz does certainly have a chance to get into this category. She was the best part of Ferrari, even though Ferrari severely underperformed at the box office and with critics for award season, because it did come out very late as well. If anything, for Ferrari, she's going to get the nomination for it. And then lastly, I have Julianne Moore. She hasn't really gained any traction, but I feel like after this, I feel like it's anyone's game. This category has been changed around so much, other than than Divine Joy Randolph and Emily Blunt. This category has just been all over the place. So I think just throwing Julianne Moore in there could be a shot in the dark, but it could pay off big time. I think she does have a chance to be the nomination. She was really good at May December. The only thing that says May December just has not been getting any nominations at all. So it's going to be hard to see what happens. Because I think it could turn around. May December could get a Best Picture nomination out of nowhere. Who knows? But I don't see it happening. I think Julianne Moore is a very good chance, though, of getting supporting actress here at the Oscars. And after that, Danielle Brooks, Jodie Foster, Sandra Hüller. I don't think Hüller's gonna get a supporting actress nom. She's already in lead actress. I don't know if they want to double nom her, because it's very rare when that happens. So I don't think it's gonna happen. But we can see Rosamund Pike for Saltburn. Again, Saltburn continues to gain traction, so you never can rule out they throw Rosamund Pike in there. Because I think 4 and 5 can still very much change for sure. Even 3, even for America Ferrera. I think those 3 spots are wide open for anyone to take. And Rachel McAdams, I think she got a few noms. There's a very good chance that she just gets thrown in there for Are You There, Gotta Be Margaret. I think this category is wide open for nominations, but I think for sure for the win, it has to be Divine Joy Randolph for the holdovers. There's no other person that could win. And Best Supporting Actor, the lock, and I think he's probably going to win it, Robert Downey Jr. for Oppenheimer. He's got the best chance, I think. I don't think anyone's coming close to beating him for this nomination and win. He's basically won every award show for this category, so we will have to see if it holds for the Oscars. The Oscars are weird. Who knows? Ryan Gosling, number 2. I think he's the closest person that has a chance at beating Robert Downey Jr. I think this is the first category, really, that we have a Barbie, Oppenheimer, like Barbenheimer face-off for who will win the category. I think it has to be one of those two, no matter what. So we'll have to see. Robert De Niro for Kills of the Flower Moon. Robert De Niro, he's a good guy to just throw in there. I think he's a pretty decent lock for this category as well. They've been the big 3 nominations here for this category across award season, so I think they have the biggest chance of getting it. 4 and 5, I think, have changed around a ton. We've had Charles Melton, Coleman Domingo, Paul Mescal, Willem Dafoe, Mark Ruffalo, and Dominic Sessa. I'm going to go with the last 2. Dominic Sessa, Mark Ruffalo. I think they do have to throw a Poor Things nomination in here, because it did do really well. Ruffalo was doing really well at the start of award season, but he has slowed down a ton. So we'll have to see that he gets out of this slump in a way. I think he will. I think he'll get the nomination. I haven't seen Poor Things personally, but I heard he's amazing in it. So we'll have to see. And then Dominic Sessa. Dominic Sessa is a wild card in here as well. He did get in for a few categories at other award shows. So I think he has a chance. The only issue is I know the Oscars and all award shows typically do not like to give younger actors nomination because they're trying to give more developed and renowned actors the awards, but I think Sessa in his first film ever deserves this nomination. Really, he does. He does outstanding in The Holdovers. I think he literally was my favorite part in it, even better than Paul Giamatti. So number 6, I have Charles Melton from May December. He is very much so slowed down at the start of awards season. People are saying he should win it all, and then now a lot of people are saying he's not even going to make it into the nominations, which is crazy to think. May December was my favorite film of the year, so that's why I have it a little bit higher probably than I should for Below the Line. I think Melton should be in though. He definitely deserves it. 7, I have Coleman Domingo for American Fiction. He's been getting a few nominations as of late, surprisingly, so we'll have to see if it sticks. I don't know. Paul Mescal for 8 for All of Us Strangers. He's getting some traction recently. He got a BAFTA nomination, which was pretty big. And then lastly, I have Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe for Poor Things. He got a few nominations at the start award season, but he hasn't been carrying that momentum throughout, so we'll have to see if it holds, but I don't think it will. All right, screenplay, best original screenplay. Number 1, I have The Holdovers. 2, I have Saltburn. 3, Past Lives. 4, Anatomy of a Fall. 5, May December. This category does not feel very stacked. I feel like it's pretty much the Holdovers category to win. A lot of the ones that I think have a possibility of winning best original screenplay, as I was looking at what other people think the contenders are going to be, I think for sure it has to be these 5. I don't think Rustin has been getting enough traction. I think it's kind of fallen out of that best picture, best screenplay, best actor race. Saltburn is continuing traction. BAFTA's gave it a ton of nominations. I think it might have a chance to win best original screenplay. Who knows? For all I know, Saltburn could just come in and sweep everything at the Oscars. Past Lives is kind of just a lock. I don't think it's going to win best original screenplay. Past Lives has been huge in general, so we'll have to see if it holds. At number 4, I have Anatomy of a Fall. It won best original screenplay at the Golden Globes, which was pretty big. Will it hold? I don't know. That was pretty huge that Anatomy of a Fall won. I think it does have a chance to win this category too. And then May December, I had to throw a fifth one in there. A lot of the remaining ones I feel like have just been nowhere. So we'll have to see what happens, but I don't have confidence in May December winning. I do have a little bit of slight confidence so that it gets the nomination. This category just, I feel, you have the top 4, and then it kind of just is whoever wants it gets it. 8, I have Air. Air's just that movie you throw in there in case you want to just, who knows? Maybe Air gets the win. 9, I have Dream Scenario. I did like this film. It has not been performing well. The only thing I think it's really got a nomination for was Nick Cage at the Golden Globes. Then 10, I have Napoleon. As I said, the pickings were a little slim here, so I had to throw Napoleon here. It's probably going to win costume design and a few other ones, but I don't think it has a real chance of getting into Best Original Screenplay. For Best Adapted Screenplay, my nomination predictions are Barbie, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, Killers of the Flower Moon, and American Fiction. These 5 are locks. I feel like nothing is going to change. You can maybe change, if you wanted to, American Fiction for the Zone of Interest, change those out if you really wanted to. Or they could be bold and throw the color purple in there, who knows. I feel like this category is much more stacked to the original screenplay, surprisingly. So yeah, Barbie, I think, has to get a win at the Oscars. And if it's adapted screenplay, it makes total sense. Because, yeah, I think that's its best chance. Oppenheimer could beat it, though, honestly. Poor Things has been doing pretty well. Hasn't won any screenplay awards as of yet, but Poor Things could easily be thrown in there as well. Killers of the Flower Moon, also Scorsese, just legacy nom. I don't think Flower Moon's gonna win this category at all. I don't think it's really gonna win much other than maybe Gladstone at the Oscars, so it's just easy to just win in nominations because it has that Scorsese name attached to it, so we'll have to wait and see. And then below the line, the Zone of Interest, The Color Purple, All of Us Strangers, Blackberry, and surprise for some probably, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Zone of Interest, I think, could easily be thrown in there over American Fiction. I think The Color Purple could as well. All of Us Strangers has been getting some popularity and some momentum going into the Oscars, so we'll have to see if it pulls a few nominations for this category. Maybe we'll have to see. Blackberry has been just non-existent, but I had to find a 9 and 10 for it, so I'm throwing Blackberry in there. I've heard great things about it, so I said why not. And then 10, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I don't think it's gonna win Best Picture. It was in that race early on, but I think it's definitely fallen out of that race. And I think if it gets adapted to screenplay, people will lose their minds because it'll be the first time in a while, I think, something animated has gotten a Best Screenplay nomination. So we'll have to see, but if it gets it, I think everyone will lose their minds and feel like the Oscars have changed, which I don't think it has. And I don't think Across Spider-Verse will get in, but who knows? It's the Oscars, they do weird stuff every year. And then lastly, my nomination predictions for Best Animated Feature. I have Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse at number 1, The Boy and the Hare at number 2, Elemental at number 3, Nimona at number 4, and Chicken Run Down to the Nugget at number 5. Across the Spider-Verse, I think this is a lock for it to win. The only challenger is going to be The Boy and the Heron. Elemental is a Pixar movie. It wasn't doing well at all, and then it changed around, so Elemental could see itself win, who knows, but I don't think it has a chance. Nimona has not had any momentum at all with nominations at all, and it sucks because I love Nimona. It's one of my favorite films of the year, but it just has gotten 0 nominations. So we'll have to see if the Oscars turn it around, but I don't think it will. Then number 5, I have a surprise. Chicken Run Down to the Nugget. Also a film that had not a ton of momentum. It did get a BAFTA nomination, I do believe, and a few other nominations. So I think it could just sneak in there. I don't think it's going to win, but I think it definitely has a chance of sneaking in and getting a nomination. 6 and 7, I have the 2 other contenders I think that have a slight chance of winning a nomination here, garnering it, if you could say. Wish and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. TMNT has been left off a ton of nominations that people thought it would win. And then Wish is a Disney movie. I feel like there's that stigma that a ton of voters in the Oscars don't watch animated films and they just vote for the one that their kids watch, so they're gonna pick Wish, which sucks because I don't think it deserves to be in this race at all. 8, I had the Super Mario Brothers movie. It got nominated for a Golden Globe, so who knows? It could just get thrown into this category. I honestly have no idea. Suzume, it also got nominated for a Golden Globe, but it has had 0 traction after that, so I don't think it really has a true chance of just getting thrown into this category at all, but we'll have to see. And at 10, I have Leo. I had to find a 10 spot, and I feel like Leo's just a pretty funny one to pull in there. People have liked Leo a ton, so maybe we'll see a Leo upset get thrown in there over Nimona. I would hate that, but it could happen. But I think their top 5 are a pretty solid 5. If you really want to, it's going to be a change, I would probably see Nimona and Chicken Run. One of those two being taken out for Wish or Team NT or Super Mario Brothers movie. It made a shit ton of money, so who knows? A lot to see. Maybe out of nowhere the Iron Claw gets the Best Picture nomination. I will cry tears of joy, but that is probably not going to happen. Thank you guys all so much for watching. If you do like movies like me and you want to see more movie content like this, like the video, subscribe. I would really appreciate it a ton. This is only my second video on this channel, so thank you all so much for watching. I really do hope you did enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys all next time.